What's up? What's up, my BK riders? We'll give you a moment. It's going to be a quick video. It's going to be a very quick video.
I've been using
I
First
don't know how to
Choice
get the
for
food
about
off
6
yet.
years now.
I still don't know how to get the food off the picture that's been put on 2, 3 years ago. But I do make the kind of food constantly now. So I just wanted to know, do we know what's really going on up in the sky? Did y'all know about the asteroid that's going to be coming very close to the Earth? Very close. Extremely close. Very, very close. Okay, let me put up my disclaimer. Gotta put it up because things, I'm the strike queen. I get strikes just for breathing. Okay, let's see which one we're going to use. I'm using this one right here. Okay. This channel is for education purposes only and do the reaction or commentary on daily topics. Fair use disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, education, and research. Fair use by permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringement. Non-profit, educational, or personal tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay? So maybe that'll help because what's one more, two more strikes? Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. So we're going to talk about the two, I must be trapped in videos, commercials. It's okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, let me close that down. Close that down. Okay. So this particular asteroid is called asteroid 7482. Now, with 7482, we have a pretty big rock. It's pretty big. And it will be hitting the Earth or coming very close to the Earth January 18th. Did James Hubble see this? The James Webb, this $10 billion satellite telescope, whatever it is up here, did he see it? We won't know. But it's coming. It is coming. It is almost here. I wanted to tell you guys about it a couple of days ago, but I was unable to. Powers that be. But I'm going to show you some clips of it. And you make your own decision. Do you really believe this is going on? Is this something we really can believe? I don't know. I don't know. Am I scared? Sometimes. Sometimes. Because who's to say when the 6,000 years, 600,000 years is? They don't know. They say it, but they don't know. Is this the one? Or they said it's big enough that it took out the dinosaurs. I don't know. Could it be? I don't know. But why haven't United States or the other countries, why haven't they plan something for zapping these asteroids up. Asteroids and comets that come too close to the Earth. Why haven't they started doing that yet? Okay, so I'm just going to show you a couple of little clips. I'm not going to be on here that long. I'll show you a couple of little clips. So we're talking about asteroid 7482. Okay. Let's see what I'm getting in here. Okay, share. Mhm. Okay, here we go. Huge asteroid will pass the Earth January 18th. That's the title. That is the title. So, what are we going to find out about this? This asteroid is going to be passing by on January 18th. Oh, we on the side. Okay. So, a large stony asteroid will safely pass the Earth on January 18th, 2022. Its estimation size is 3,280 feet, or about 1 kilometer, or a sixth of a mile, around 2.5 times the height of the Empire State Building. As you see from this asteroid label, 7482, 1994. It's been known since 1994. It's been classified as a potential hazardous asteroid due to the size, relatively known flybys of our planets. The asteroid is the size. Asteroid of this size strikes the Earth approximately every 600,000 years. We have nothing to fear in 1994, and it's 2022. Close approach, and plus an amateur astronomer in his backyard telescope might catch a glimpse of it as it sweeps by. I will definitely have my telescope up. I'm putting it up this weekend, for real, for real. Because I want to see it pass by. I want to see something. I want to see some space junk, something. So, Robert McNaught, he discovered the asteroid in 1994, and he said closest approach Earth occurs January 18th at 4:51 p.m. And here we go with the UTC time again. Why can't they just tell people Central Time? They got us on these Central Times and all this other time and don't want to tell us what time is actually going to be. So I'll be looking all day. The speed of asteroid passed 1.2 million miles, 1.993 million kilomiles from the Earth, or about 5.515 times the Earth-Moon distance. It's a very safe distance, yes, close enough to observe with a small backyard telescope. The huge space rock is traveling 43,754 miles per hour, relative second to the Earth. Consideration speed will enable amateur astronomers to spot the fast asteroid as it appears at the point of light, similar to a star passing in the background over its course of the evening. Asteroid 7482 will shine around magnitude 10. The object of 10 magnitude is decent target of observers. usually in 6 inches or larger backyard telescope. So I want to show you all this. All the craziness that they with them doggone Pisces. They everywhere. So we can actually look out our window and see it. That's how close it's going to be. So we need to find out where it's going to be at. For North America, observers with backyard telescopes, best opportunity to see the asteroid hours January 18th, close to the approach hours chart. You should be able to detect the space rock motion thanks to its size and proximity. When the asteroid is passing close to the fixed background, the stars and the movement will be noticed. Another good technique for spotting: a camera to the telescope and take exposures 30 to 45 seconds. Point of the camera to the telescope. Despite the full moon, January 18th, it's going to be a full moon now, on January 18th. Since the full moon will be located at a very good distance in the sky from the area in which the space rock will also experience, observers agree that the asteroid will be the easiest asteroid to locate. Okay, so now we know we're going to see it and we'll be able to locate it. So I was watching this movie today, and I've been like trying to figure out, like, do could the United States really have something like this? They should, or even some other countries. But I guess it's all about protecting themselves for war. It's always about war. I don't understand that. Everything's always about war. You know. So we're gonna share this one. Let me show you this quick clip. This movie is called The Force of Impact. I just want to show you how they rimmed it up. I don't think I'm gonna have the volume on it. It's called The Force of Impact, Full Disaster. Okay, let's look at this. That's something. So that's what it looks like. And this coming up is what. So this movie, Force of Impact, good movie. It shows you how they don't believe you at first. They don't believe you until, you go to try to do something about it. And, she got lucky and found the person who knew how to use the laser. So the laser broke up all of the asteroids rocks. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that part. So, could we have a laser like so? Hey Vine. Hey Vine. Yo, did you hear about the asteroid 7482 yet? It's coming really close to the Earth on January 18th. They're already doing all kinds of videos and stuff on it. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So the next thing that I saw You think so? NASA, NASA turns around and they say, oh, well, we're going to put a video out there because why didn't the telescope see this? Why didn't the James Webb telescope see this? Why are we not? I mean, it's been out there 3 weeks already. Why are we now learning in the last week before it actually coming to the earth? They keep, I'm not saying they need to tell us everything because we are panicked. It's not that we're panicking. It's just that we want to know. We want to know what's going on. We want to know what's going on. It ain't got nothing to do with being nosy. We want to know what's going on. We as tax-paying people want to know what our taxpayers' money is going to, and we want to know what is going on. It's just that simple. So, NASA, they want to put up there, should they run to the hills? Time to run to the hills. NASA warns massive potentially hazardous asteroid coming this week. It's coming on January 18th. Like I said, this is not going to be a long video. So let's play this.
Known innocuously as asteroid 7482 1994 PC1. Our visitor was discovered on August 9, 1994 by astronomer Robert McNaught at the Siding Spring Observatory in Australia. Astronomers since then have traced it back to September 1974, so much is known about its past and future trajectories. It is in a big hurry. The asteroid is racing by at 43,754 miles per hour, or 19.56 kilometers per second. And this time, astronomers say we are safe from disasters as 1994 PC1 will miss us by 1.2 million miles. The last time this particular asteroid hurtled by Earth was in 1933, and that was at a much closer 699,000 miles. Keep in mind that we are not immune to surprise visits and close calls from wanderers we are not tracking. On October 21st, 2021, an asteroid the size of a refrigerator snuck by watchers and passed within a minuscule 1,800 miles of Antarctica. Not close enough to worry about? Then consider 2020 VT4 at 16 to 32 feet across, the size of a small house, skimmed by at a mere 238 miles from Earth's surface on November 13th, 2020. And we discovered it on the 14th, the day after.
So, I'm saying all that to say, just showing you a little clips of it. They've been know what's coming. Exactly. A lot of asteroid movies been dropping. I've been seeing some I haven't even crazy. So we're trying to figure out why did the telescope not see this? If they saw it in 1994 and it passed in 19 something, really, they really, it's 1994, it was discovered, and it's now passing us again. So I was trying to figure out, let me see if I can ask Google, what is the difference? What's the difference between an asteroid and what's the difference between an asteroid and a comet? You know, they all talking about it. It's all on the blogs. Potentially hazardous. Potentially hazardous. Hey, Tony. Thanks for stopping by, girl. Appreciate you. So what is actually stopping us from not worrying when we are left out in the cold? We're not in the know. We don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. if we don't read, if we don't see videos that brings things to our attention, how are we to know? Let me ask Google. Because, Google know everything. Probably tell me mind my business. But hey, I'm going to ask. What is the difference between a comet and an asteroid? Yeah, I had to cut the volume down on it because, and now I don't want to talk. Do it again. What is the difference between a comet and an asteroid? And I believe it's just a tail. The main difference between asteroids and comets is their composition, as in what they're made of. Asteroids are made of metal and rocks material. Meanwhile, comets are made up of ice, dust, and rocky materials. Comets form further from the sun where the ice could not melt it. So we got the comets are made of ice, and the asteroids are made up of metal and rocky materials. Okay, so we have to ask ourselves, how much space junk is out there? How much satellites junk is out there? How much comets are floating around the earth? It's like a whole big bouquet of craziness going on. And they not trying to clean this stuff up. I was just thinking the other night, why don't they just get a rocket and attach rope to every piece of comet that is sitting there, every piece of space junk that's just sitting there doing nothing, and just let a rocket take it as far as it can take it away from the Earth. How is they gonna clean it up? If you say there's so much stuff going on out there, how much more can we do to clean it up? So, as in my trials, I have been telling you guys almost 2 years. Almost 2 years, I've been telling you guys about the continent. Now I'm seeing all kinds of videos on it. I'm seeing all kinds of what is it? All kinds of let me go to my history. But it was one particular video that I saw that was really interesting. So, the fog was sound. And let me tell you about them cell phones. You better stick with the one you got. Stop updating them. They ain't gonna be no good in a minute. They ain't gonna be no good. So it's called Zealander. And where is it? One day I'll have it. I just saw the video. Think Dragon. Let me see. Well, now they got all these. Let's see, my videos. Where I saw that? Yes, in my history, on my library. But anyway, they are now. We know that it's under. We know that it is under the water. It's in the water. It's in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, we know that. Look at this crazy bird. We know it's in the ocean. But what we didn't know was they are extracting the minerals, the gold, the iron, all the precious. It has just as much stuff on it as the continent of Africa. It's one of the richest continents underwater. The richest continents underwater. So I saw this video, which now I can't seem to find it. saw this video, and here we go, the hidden continent. So they saying it's
Over
not
the
a
last
secret.
2 months, I've lost about 20 pounds, which
It's
blows
not a
my
secret. The part of the fact is, why are they down there drilling and extracting the natural minerals and stuff from it? Isn't that something? It has so much stuff under it, on it, and they're not going to put it back on the map. We know that already. But the point I'm trying to make is, let me fast forward this here. Also crazy stuff. Okay. So if they can find a whole entire hidden continent and now bring it to life and say, yes, it is, now it's yes, there is a continent underwater in the Pacific Ocean. And that's
Venture into the southwestern Pacific, we'll come across a gigantic piece of strongly stretched continental crust below the surface of the water, which covers an area of 4.9 million square kilometers. However, not all parts of this area are covered by the waves of the sea. Those arid areas that rise out of the water are known today as New Zealand, Stewart Island, New Caledonia, and the Chatham Islands. The first to name this contiguous area Zealandia was the American geologist.
Me and Uncle Fab been talking about this for years, and now they want to put it to the forefront. Now they want to do that. What is the reason for that? What is the reason?
Bruce Lyondike. However, during the mid-1990s, the research continent from our modern maps for a very long time. Because of this, it can be an understandably difficult task for researchers, historians, and geographers to come to terms with adding a new continent to our map. To make matters worse, there isn't necessarily one agreed upon method of
and the map is a lie. That's going to be another day. I can prove to you guys that map is such a lie. That map is such a lie. Don't follow that map to find no hidden treasures. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, here we go.
Gondwana formed the southern part of the supercontinent Pangaea. So when Zealandia was still part of Gondwana, the Pacific plate slowly but surely began to drift towards the eastern border of the greater continent. As a result of this process, layers of sediment were again raised, ultimately creating massive mountain ranges. More than 100 million years later, however, this process would be reversed. As a result, Zealandia eventually split off from the Australian continent. The so-called Tasman Sea was also created, forming the body of water that's located between New Zealand and Australia today. While the bottom of the Tasman Sea rose steadily over the course of millions of years, Zealandia sank further and further down until the majority of the landmass was finally covered by water. Around 23 million years ago, according to scientific theories, the Pacific plate collided with the Australian plate again. In the course of this process, which continues to this day, New Zealand also rose from the ocean's waters. Bear in mind, all of this is just the best guess of the scientific.
Now, you heard him say, all of this is just the best guess scientific verdict. That's all science is, best guess. What has science created? What has science created is best guess. What is the best guess about?
Community. That doesn't mean that their efforts and work are any less credible. However, we have to remember that many scientists and historians who study the Earth and try to understand how it would have looked thousands of years ago are trying their best. Zealandia then and now. With all this in mind, what did this continent look like all those years ago before it sank into the icy depths? To answer this question, it's worth taking a look at the fascinating fossils that were once found in Curio Bay. The bay, which lies off the South Island of New Zealand, houses many petrified tree trunks and even the remains of a fossilized forest. Based on these remnants from bygone days, we can guess what the blooming landscapes once contained in this now lost area of Zealandia. An in-depth investigation revealed that these ancient trees were closely related to modern kauri trees and Araucaria. But it's not just the relics from the flora that show that Zealandia was once a place where life flourished. In the Otago region, researchers even came across the jaws of a time-honored mammal. Conversely, this find means that Zealandia protruded from the sea even more extensively during the last ice age than is the case today. Although most of the underwater continent is still largely unexplored, it's very likely that Zealandia is home to numerous mineral resources.
Now, he's going to tell you about the resources. All the resources that this continent has, they are extracting them. They are taking the resources. Who are taking the resources? Who? Who is taking the resources?
Sources. It's now known that there are abundant gas and oil wells there. In
Gas and oil wells that are there.
addition, the experts suspect that Zealandia also has large deposits of iron manganese nodules and sulfide. The existence of iron sand has also been proven in some areas of Zealandia. Iron has been extracted there since the 1960s. The coveted
So since 1960, they've been using this continent. I'm not going to say as a guinea pig. I'm going to say they've been extracting all of its wealth because it lays at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. So they're drilling down there. They drilling. They're extracting the minerals, the gold, the diamonds. Again, all of this, all the stuff that takes the continent to thrive. But how did it sink? Because if they're saying it's right, Zealandia sunk and New Zealand arose from the water. That's confusing.
coveted raw material is not only used for steel production, but is also exported to other parts of the world.
See?
Is Zealandia a continent? In view of Zealandia's literally turbulent past, a central question arises. Does it make sense to recognize the largely submerged area as an eighth continent? It's precisely this question that the scientific minds cannot seem to agree on. In detail, there are different criteria that a region of the Earth must meet in order to be considered a continent. Above all, this includes the fact that the continental crust must stand out sufficiently from the oceanic crust. At the same time, the continental crust must be thicker than the oceanic crust. But the natural condition of the region in question is also an important aspect. According to this, a continent must have geological diversity and be home to three basic types of rock. Last but not least, the definition of a continent is always a question of size. The corresponding landmass must therefore have a very large area of land in order not to be classified as a micro.
So it's not an island. That's a fact. It's not an island. It is a continent. So if that was the case, nobody goes to Antarctica. Antarctica is a continent full of only ice and rocks. When they're going to talk about all the Greenland that's in Antarctica, I mean, like, can the whole entire continent be freezing cold ice? Can the whole continent? That's what they want us to believe. That's what they want us to believe.
Continent. How exactly this magnitude is quantified, however, is not determined even in the ranks of scientists. Those in favor of including Zealandia on the official list of continents make different arguments. Since the landmass has a considerable area of almost 5 million square kilometers, it should overcome the specified size hurdle with ease. Because Zealandia is far enough away from Australia, it shouldn't be viewed as a fragment, but as an independent region. The narrowest area that separates Zealandia and Australia is a sea trench 25 kilometers wide and over 3,500 meters deep. Although more than 90% of Zealandia is covered in water, it still stands an average of 1.1 kilometers from the bottom of the oceanic crust. In addition, previous studies of the region suggest that the underwater continent also meets the minimum geological requirements.
So it meets the geological requirements of being a continent. Look at this. This is
30 kilometers thicker than that of the official continents, compared to other oceanic crusts, which are on average no thicker than 7 kilometers. It appears much more massive. All of these arguments would ultimately be incontestable if the continent discussion were not overshadowed by one central fact. Zealandia is largely underwater. However, since it's undisputed that the region was once dry and later split off from Australia before it sank into the sea, we're dealing here with a question of definition. Does landmass lose its status as a continent if it literally disappears from the surface? Or should it continue to be viewed as a continent even after it's given way?
So, I don't know if how many of you guys was here when I did the video on lost islands, missing lands, missing islands, what they doing with those islands. But it's like there's so much more to the earth for us to find out, information for us to find out. Oh my. Dang. Dang. Oh my. So that's where we at with this craziness that's going on. This craziness because I can't really understand why. My question is why. So if this whole continent splits off from Australia and then it sinks into the sea, what's stopping other continents from doing the same? What's stopping other continents from doing the same? Things have been melting. Well, there's a lot of melting going on right now. Didn't they say that the North Pole is melting? I'm telling you, that got up. Did y'all watch that movie? I'm gonna start giving y'all homework assignments. Did y'all watch that movie, Tomorrow's World, Tomorrow's War? Yeah, forgive me, my sinuses are acting up. Tomorrow's War. In Tomorrow's War, the aliens was already here. They in Antarctica, defrosting. They are defrosting in Antarctica. I shit you not. Seriously. They are. Vaughn, you're a geek. I know you know. I know you know. I know you know. Where's that? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, another strange thing, what's going on right now between the Carly B's court case and stuff, that's going to set a new precedence on these bloggers, for real. Big time precedence. You're not allowed to slander people, and you shouldn't come on YouTube to do all that anyway. So that's going to be something very much to be desired. Having some respect for your fellow co-workers. We are fellow co-workers. So this asteroid, as we're talking about, large asteroid stronger than a nuke head towards the Earth. Estimated as much as 190 meters long, similar to the Tuscanga asteroid. And y'all be thinking, y'all see, little streaks in the sky. Those are full-blown asteroids in the sky. Those are full-blown asteroids in the sky touching down. Trying to see what it said will make it safe. Let me see. Yeah, so these asteroids, these are the real deal. So we know the difference between a comet, and we know the difference between a comet and an asteroid. So what is a meteor? What is a meteor? That should be just plain rock and iron. Because are these deposits actually coming to the Earth, hitting us, trying to make a full distinction? Like, what are these companies? What are these power continents, power forces, the forces that be? Are they really protecting the Earth? What is the difference between a meteor and an asteroid? All right, so an asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. A meteor is what happens to a meteoroid. A small piece of an asteroid or comet burns up, entering the Earth's atmosphere. So this thing going to have 4 different names as it passes by. Well, we know that the asteroids, the comets are ice. We know that. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Just give me your heads up for January the 18th. For January the 18th, we might have a visitor. Hopefully it gets burnt up in the atmosphere. Hopefully it emits us totally, completely. I don't know how something coming straight towards us that can, by a million miles, what is that? 1,333 million miles? Like, how close? How close is it? Let's see. Half a mile wide asteroid. Let's see what they say about it. Let's see what they say. Share. About to find out. You play too much. I'm going to be looking. I done bought a case of water inside the house too. About 50 bottles of water. That's all that's going to be in my refrigerator in my closet, nothing but water. The enormous asteroid is expected to make the closest approach to the Earth soon. But don't worry, it's still going to be more than 1 million miles away from us. according to space.com. The colossal space rock is estimated to measure around 34,000 feet, which is almost 3 times the height of a 102-story Empire State Building, and will make the closest pass on our Earth January 18th, as per NASA near-Earth objects. All I want to know is, why didn't the telescope, James Webb, see this? Since we've been knowing about it since 1994. Like, what is this? What is this thing doing? I don't know. What's this? I don't know. Okay, let me explain what you see. Why didn't the Hubble see it? The Hubble is right above us, doing nothing. So they launched something, and it's on the asteroid. This little video clip I'm showing you right here. It landed on the asteroid. That's what they put on it. My question is, for what? For what? What makes this coming event so significant that the flight path of the asteroid, formerly known as 7482, marks the closest approach? We know that. And this is something that the agency continues to monitor. Having used every survey telescopes, nearly 28,000 NEO to date. Scientists have calculated approximately potentially hazardous Bennu asteroid hitting the Earth between 2021 and 2300. Fortunately, the chances of hitting the Earth is still very low, yet living on Earth may consider living closer to the asteroids. A man saw this. Robert said, look, it's coming since 1994. He spotted it in his little backyard observatory. But what I want to know is, what is the purpose of you landing something? Man, if these people don't stop this shit stuff, they're doing too much. They landed stuff on this asteroid, spending money to land stuff on this asteroid. What asteroid is most likely to hit the Earth? None currently predicted. The single highest probability is listed to 2010, which is due to pass the Earth in 2095 with a 5% prediction of impact. Really? What would happen if the Earth was hit by it? Scientists estimate it would take an asteroid about 7 to 8 miles, 11 to 12 kilometers wide, crashing the Earth. Once it made an impact, it would be tremendous dust plume and the envelope entire planet, blocking out the sun, raising temperatures, and the asteroid made an impact. So, is an asteroid going to hit the Earth in 2024? 47? How many asteroids hit the Earth? 25 million meteors. An estimate of 25 million meteoroids, micrometeoroids, and other space debris enter the Earth's atmosphere each day, and which results in an estimate of 15,000 tons of material entering the Earth's atmosphere each year. What happens if this asteroid hits the moon? If the asteroid hits the moon, the 400 meter wide asteroid impact, it would kick up enough dust, and dust would be moving so high, small quantity would escape the moon's gravity and the coast all the way to Earth. How would NASA stop the asteroid? Let's see what they say here. The asteroid would eject a stream of material that would act as a rocket, diverting the asteroid away from the collision course with Earth. Of course, for any method of derivating the asteroid to work, scientists must track Earth approaching asteroids that they could use in an extinct level event. I don't know, y'all. First, they want, they thought, man, maybe all the dinosaurs is on Zealand, on that continent, because that's where they're digging them up from. Have y'all ever heard of where they got the dinosaurs, where they've been finding the dinosaurs from? Man, listen. How big of an asteroid would it take to destroy the Earth? Ultimately, scientists estimate that the asteroid would have to be about 96 kilometers, 60 miles wide, to completely, utterly wipe out life on our planet. Can I comment? So, I'm going to see where my tracking is at. Let me see where the Hubble at. Why they don't get these telescopes, rockets to knock shit out the sky? Because it's just sitting there. You know what? I don't even know why you started me on that, Vaughn. That damn Hubble. Oh, please. Now it's getting closer to the Earth. I still don't know where James Webb is at. I ain't seen nothing. 3 weeks already. They said we won't get no pictures until 6 months. In 6 months, we'll get a picture from James Webb. Latest news: 1,000 light year wide bubble surrounding the Earth's surface. Earth is source of all nearby young stars. Hubble face. But where is so? Are they actually putting color? Is this like a science fair? I'm so disgusted right now. I'm disgusted because I don't know what's true and what's not true. How are we to know? So the Hubbles, they got jokes going on. The Hubbles are showing jokes. So that's what the Hubble is doing. They all 3D graphics. That's what the Hubble is doing. Where's that? Oh, there you go. Home. That's what the Hubble is doing. Absolutely nothing. Excuse me. Let's see what's the latest news. Embark on a journey. Latest news: 1,000 light year wide bubble. So the Hubble see a bubble around the Earth. Young star. What the hell is this crap? Now, if the Hubble is seeing in color, why is it in black and white? Why? I'm lost. Why is this in black and white? For the first time, astronomers have retraced the history of our galactic neighborhood, showing exactly how the young stars nearest to our solar system form. It started in bubbles. That's what they're saying. They don't want to admit. They don't want to admit the truth. Lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. She got me itching now. The origin of stars. We calculate about 15 supernovas have gone over millions and millions of years from the form of a local bubble to what we see today, who is now the NASA Hubble Fellow. The oddly shaped bubble is not dormant. It continues to grow slowly, as the astronauts know. It's coasting along about 4 miles per second. Bubbles everywhere. But about 5 million years ago, come on now. I'm frustrated now. Now I'm frustrated. All right, I gotta go. Then it gave me a headache. I'm frustrated. Ron, that's your fault. You should not have mentioned nothing about the Hubble. Nothing. It's your fault. You think that satellite station, space station, I ain't see it yet. I had the tracker on it on my phone. Oh, it's over your house. Go outside. Won't have me sitting outside in the cold this year looking for no doggone James Webb this year. No, I will not. Well, yes, nephew. Hubble. Let me see what James Webb doing. Let me see. We're going to YouTube. YouTube Web. So, light from the moon. And you guys got to check out these plane crashes. 10 things you cannot do in space. So who is the first person that's going to have sex in space? Next, they send up husband and wives. You send up husband and wives, whores and strippers. I mean, inquiring minds want to know. Oh man, name wrong. Let's see what the telescope at. And then I'm going to call it a day. We paying all this money, all this tax money. Excuse me. We can't understand what is it for? What is it for? 5 million years ago? 5 million? 5 million years ago. To show us bubbles of stars. Okay. Let's see what James Webb is up to, and then we're going to call it a night. Guaranteed to make me puke. Guaranteed. Okay. That's it. All we have is a bunch of words, a bunch of diagrams, and a bunch of numbers. Like, what is this thing actually doing? Oh, don't forget the good sci-fi. Why we can't see the actual stuff going on? I'm not even gonna get on there and say nothing. But look, this is what we spent $10 billion on. I bet you it's not even a bathroom on there. Not a bathroom, no telescope, nobody drink no water, nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Why can't we see what's going on? Where are you? Deployment, they got all these things to open up. So that's what we're gonna do. Spend the next 6 months watching one mirror open up at a time. I can't with these people. I can't. I just can't. Elon Musk, the scientists fully think of James Webb. What Elon Musk, the scientists really think of James Webb telescope? That might be interesting.
Feels weird. Picking it up. The legacy of that.
Even before its historic launch, the James Webb Space Telescope had captured the world's attention. Before its Christmas Day launch, Elon Musk shared something about the giant telescope. Replying to a BBC Twitter post that highlighted the JWST scientists' intent to show how the cosmos became filled with light, Elon replied, "This is a big deal. There are actually a couple of reasons why JWST is as big a deal as Elon says it is. First, the telescope is actually a collaboration of 3 space agencies: NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency. The 3 agencies have been developing JWST for a mind-blowing 30 years. They've also poured in nearly $10 billion of capital to bring Webb into existence. Another reason why JWST is such a big deal is because of the path it will be traveling. Built to detect even the faintest of information-carrying infrared light, the telescope will peer back in time, nearly 13 billion years ago, when the first stars supposedly emerged."
Did he say 13 billion? Did he say 13 billion, y'all? 13 billion years, and we don't know what's going on for tomorrow. 13 billion years, and we don't know what's going on tomorrow.
According to John Mather, a senior project scientist on JWST, the telescope has been built in such a way that its results will be like a time machine, through which scientists will revisit the early days of our universe and learn just how it became filled with light. It is known that before the Big Bang, the only cosmic entity that our universe had was darkness, and this darkness was eliminated when the first stars formed, far away from Earth. JWST will hunt for the lights that emerged from the first stars billions of years ago. After it points its 21-foot gold-plated mirrors toward a tiny space in the sky, JWST's launch was met with near-unanimous praise from the scientific community. Professor of Astrophysics and Space Science, Martin Barstow, tweeted, "Woohoo! Launch successful. Many more nail-biting moments to go yet, but JWST is on its way." NASA's administrator, Bill Nelson, said, "This is a great day, not only for America, Europe, and our Canadian partners, but it's a great day for planet Earth. For over 3 decades, we've produced this telescope that is going to take us back in time, back to the very beginnings of the universe. We are going to discover incredible things that we never imagined." The UK...
What are they looking for? Because I ain't looking for nothing. What are they looking for? Anybody know? Anybody in the chat know what they're looking for? I mean, maybe I'll look for that too. Anybody in the chat know what are they looking for 13 billion years ago? If anything, they can't bring it back to Earth. Whatever they're looking for. If they're looking for signs of life, the telescope will tell us signs of life of birth of new stars, birth of new black holes, birth of new planets. What are they going to tell us the birth of? There's nothing there.
UK's Science Minister George Freeman said, Today is a monumental milestone for international and UK space science. The Webb Space Telescope will allow us to go further and deeper to explore and discover our planetary universe. The project draws heavily on the world-class expertise of top UK scientists and engineers who were able to deliver vital pieces of this complex and powerful telescope. Being at the heart of this international project showcases the innovative talent of the UK's world-leading scientists and engineers, and emphasizes our position as a global science powerhouse. Speaking of British scientists, Professor Brian Cox, the superstar physicist, commented before the launch saying, "Good luck at NASA Webb. Certainly one of the most important scientific launches in history. It will be a wonderful Christmas present if all goes to plan, as I'm sure it will. But I know that containing clouds of gas nurturing newborn stars in the Milky Way. Its image was brought to us by light that left the nebula 1,300 years ago. The same can be said about the pillars of creation within the Eagle Nebula, towering, delicate structures that are light years tall.
This looks so
whose light
scary.
has taken 7,000 years to reach us. The Andromeda Galaxy, a glittering island of a trillion suns, has been brought to us by light from 2.5 million years ago. Thanks again to Hubble. A cosmic rose, made up of two interacting galaxies distorted by their mutual gravitational pull, was captured in August of this year,
cosmic
whose light
rose.
took 300 million years to reach us. Hubble's fantastic voyage has taken us even further out into the uncharted ocean of space, glimpsing countless ancient and faraway galaxies, some of whose images have taken billions of years to reach Earth, lighting the way to the primordial past. But as impressive as Hubble was, it approached its farthest shore. The outermost limit it was able to achieve is a galaxy near the dawn of time, one that came cosmological moments after the Big Bang, known as GN-Z11. Its image has taken a jaw-dropping 13.4 billion years to reach Earth. As impressive as that sounds, the James Webb Space Telescope will be able to plunge to even greater depths than the Hubble ever could. It will cover longer wavelengths of light and will have greatly improved sensitivity, which enables...
I can't. That shit gave me a headache. It just gave me a headache. A lot of these movies. Oh, look at this. Elton said, people don't realize what's coming. The Earth won't exist in 12 years. Look at that. So, would
Okay,
it be,
so I'm doing something
would this be
absolutely
Revelations?
miraculous, which is
Would it be like Revelations? What do you say?
Old. Earth, like 4.5 billion years old. In another half billion years or so, the sun will expand and probably evaporate the oceans and make life impossible on Earth. Which means that if it had taken consciousness 10% longer to evolve, it would never have evolved at all. Just 10% longer. And I wonder how many dead one-planet civilizations there are out there in the cosmos that never made it to the other planet and ultimately extinguished themselves or were destroyed by external factors. Probably a few. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you've ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every could migrate. This is not true. In all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species...
He said the Earth is the only planet that harbors life. That harbors life. The Earth. We are our worst enemies.
could migrate. This is not true.
There are really two fundamental paths. History is going to bifurcate along two directions. One path is we stay on Earth forever, and then there will be some eventual extinction event. I don't have an immediate doomsday prophecy, but it's eventually history suggests there will be some doomsday event. The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, which I hope you would agree that is the right way to go.
Should be concerned about demographic implosion. So if you look at countries like Japan, most of Europe, China, and you look at the birth rates in a lot of those places is only at about half of the sustaining rates. When you have an inverted demographic pyramid, so if you look at the pyramid and you've got age variation, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 20-year-olds, like sort of a demographic pyramid.
Right.
And in some countries, it's like an upside-down pyramid, so it'll sort of fall over. It will not stand. What we'll actually have in those countries is a very high dependency ratio, where the number of people who are retired is very high relative to the number of people who are net producers. And so you cannot, the social safety net will not hold. We didn't evolve for this because we sort of evolved to just always procreate, and it wasn't birth control or anything.
Right.
Just like have lots of babies. It's like off the course, and like hopefully some of them was 5. That was like all of human history until very recently. And now it's, you've got cases like Japan where adult diapers outsell baby diapers. Europe's in a similar situation. China's headed the same way because they've had the one-child policy, and then even though they've relieved the one-child policy, the social norm has been.
See, people didn't think that was true. I knew it was true. The one-child policy. That brought me to tell y'all about the movie called What Happened to Monday. A baby was born. There was 7 kids born at one time. And each one of them was totally identical. And they had to be hidden. Every day, one would go out. One was named Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So.
We come to have an average 1 kid. So even when they relieved that requirement, it didn't change. You can imagine, like people say, well, what about immigration? It's like, okay, look, there's 1.5 billion people in China. Where is China going to get 700 million new people? Okay, that's like 3 Indonesias. It's like, it doesn't work. The full gravity of this is not well understood, but will become a severe issue in the next few decades. So civilization here on Earth could end with a bang or one birth. But it could also be like a whole series of things. Like what killed the dinosaurs? Well, it wasn't just one thing. There was like a whole bunch of things happened in a row. They could have taken any one of those things. They had like 3 things happen, and no dinosaurs.
If the species is going to survive,
Yeah.
we kind of have to escape.
It's mostly about the species. I mean, there've been some real doozies of like massive meteors and super volcanoes and continents moved all over the place, and Earth's been a snowball and super
He
hot.
already said continents moving all over the place. Let's back up. Continents are moving.
And super volcanoes and continents moved all over the place, and Earth's been a snowball and super hot. If you read like the geological history of Earth, it's like very long and complicated. And then there've been so many extinction events, not like just a few. Galactic timescale, even with sublight travel, you could absolutely colonize the whole galaxy, even some of the neighboring galaxies. Could you colonize the galaxy in 1 year? Absolutely, the entire galaxy.
Why do we need to build a city on Mars with 1 million people on it?
Yeah, I think it's important to have a future that is inspiring and appealing. I mean, I just think that there have to be reasons that you get up in the morning and you want to live.
Thinking about going solar? Before you
Elton, we have some issues.
What do you love about the future? And if we're not out there, if the future does not include being out there among the stars, And being a multi-planet species, I find that it's incredibly depressing if that's not the future that we're going to have. If you look at the progress in space, in 1969, we were able to send somebody to the moon. 1969. Then we had the space shuttle. The space shuttle could only take people to low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit again.
The United States
Low
could take no one
Earth
to orbit. So that's the trend. The trend is like down to nothing. This is not. People are mistaken when they think that technology just automatically improves. It does not automatically improve. It only improves if a lot of people work very hard to make it better. And actually, it will, I think, by itself degrade, actually. You look at great civilizations like ancient Egypt, and they were able to make the pyramids, and they forgot how to do that. And the Romans, they built these incredible aqueducts. They forgot how to do it.
Do you think there is a meaning to life?
Well, I think arguably the meaning of life is to understand the nature of the universe and figure out what the meaning of life is. So, like I said, I think we don't quite know the right questions to ask. And if we learn more about the universe, if we expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we are better able to ask the questions about the answer that is the universe. I think being a multi-planet species and being out there among the stars is important for the long-term survival of humanity. And that's one reason, kind of like life insurance for life collectively, life as we know it. But then the part that I find personally most motivating is that it creates a sense of adventure. And it makes people excited about the future. If you consider two futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, or another future where we are out there on many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system. I think that second version is incredibly exciting and inspiring, and there need to be reasons to get up in the morning. Life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point? The value of getting inspiration is very much underrated, no question. But I want to be clear, I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. That is not I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad.
Yeah. So, that's all I have for you guys tonight. All I have for you guys tonight. Thank you all for coming through. Yes, you got some points. Let's get to the 18th, God willing. We'll see what happened on the 18th. Why they not showing it on the news? Why they not showing it on TV? I don't know. But let's see what happens on January 18th when asteroid 72, 74, 82 hit her. Is it going to hit or miss? Is it going to barely miss us? Is it going to shake us? Would it be like an outside world earthquake? I don't know. But thank you guys for coming. Peace. Good night, Vaughn. Good night, Sugar, and all y'all. Thanks for coming over. Bye.